What's up YouTube, Mike here with PeoplesChoiceGaming, and today we're going to take a look at the new Update 13 Water Based Warframe Hydroid. Right now I'm showing you the new Vahak really quick. He's just so cool looking now. He's like all scary, goofy looking. I love the new, half organic, half robot thing they did with him, and the kind of the new design of him. He's really badass looking. But basically, you're going to need to make a key to go fight the new Vahak to get the new parts for the new Warframe. And all you got to do is go to Ceres. I'll talk about this more probably when I do maybe a boss video for him. But just briefly, you can only do this in Ceres, any map, and you're going to fight basically generals of Vahak. And there'll be, I think there might be 3-4 different ones or so, but you're going to fight them. And when you kill them, they're going to drop the different resources you need. Alpha, I think it's Alpha, Gamma, Kappa, Delta, I think, but there's 4. And there's one that's pretty rare that you won't get nearly as much as the others. And this isn't tough. It's just like with everything in the past. You're always going to want to do defense and mobile defense. In fact, I did Ceres Varro. And except for the few times that it was taking a while for Greenear to spawn in the beginning, because it's just a bug in the game, they got to work on spawn rates. But, you know, when the defense was running well, like it should, we got a ton of resources just by doing defense in Ceres, just like it always is. And in fact, doing just a 15-wave defense, I got all the parts that I needed to make a key to go fight him. So it wasn't that bad at all. I'll go ahead and show you the resources right now. So this is the resources you're going to need, guys. The triangulator is given to you, and then those generals that will pop up on maps in Ceres, they're going to drop these 4 different orb-looking things. And the Delta is the really tough one to get. After 15 waves, I only got 2, but all the rest I have a lot of, and they're not that tough to get at all. And even though you need, multiple ones for those other 3, like I said, they drop a lot, more often. And I got all that I needed in 20 minutes, a 15-wave run. So it shouldn't be too bad for you to farm these to be able to go fight Vahak. Just make sure you're not doing regular missions. It's always about defense and mobile defense. That always spawns, the most. All right, let's go ahead and now check out the new Warframe here, and then before we end the video, we'll just briefly go over a general build for him. Alright guys, so this is his first ability called Tempest Barrage. You're going to rain down basically just rockets of water onto the enemies, doing very little damage, around 100 or 130 with Intensify. The mods that are going to affect this power are Intensify and Duration, adding about 1.5 seconds. This is his second power, both his first and second cost 50 energy, and it's called Tidal Surge. And you basically just turn into a wave and you move across the land, knocking the enemies over and doing damage. Intensify will add damage, Duration makes you go a lot further, and Stretch will basically just add more range around you. This is his third power here, costing 75 energy, called Undertow. And basically Undertow just makes you turn into a huge water puddle that you'll do more damage with Intensify. It will go longer with Duration, and Stretch will make it a lot larger. However, is already really big and lasts a long 30 seconds. If you don't want to stay in it that whole time though, all you have to do is move a little bit and you'll come out of it. If you stay in about 7 or 8 seconds or so, you'll be able to kill mid to low level enemies. But even with Intensify, you do very low damage, just like the first 2 abilities. However though, it's a little bit better because it does directly affect health, and it covers a vast area that you're able to basically crowd control a lot of enemies. Still not, quite as good as like Vauban's, but still, because you're not able to fire and attack enemies. You're basically stuck as a puddle. So that is kind of a downside. And as you've seen with all those tentacles, that is my 4th and favorite ability, and pretty much the only ability that really does any substantial damage, and it is called Tentacle Swarm. Tentacle Swarm costs 100 energy, and it does a lot of damage. You'll kill enemies in 30s and 40s pretty much instantly. And you basically just cast a bunch of tentacles up from the ground. A downside is it doesn't move around like Zephyr's ultimate. However, you do cover a vast area, so it's not too big of a deal that it doesn't move around. And with Intensify on, you see in there how many tentacles I had spawned. A ridiculous amount, over 10. It will grab the enemies very easily and slap them around on the ground, doing a lot of damage, killing them instantly. Great crowd control, and even without, you know, adding duration mod, it lasts a really long time. Very funny looking ultimate. Everybody's making fun of it. I'm not going to get into the jokes about that ultimate, but honestly though, compared to the other very low damage powers, this is his only power that is really substantially, you know, decent and that does any real damage. So I want to go ahead and jump into the arsenal really quickly and just go over you know, how to generally mod him. You know, in the end, he's not really going to be any type of endgame Warframe. Doesn't really have any great utility or defense or support for your group. Basically all just aesthetic damage powers for the most part, and low damage at that. Also, as far as aesthetics go for how he looks, it's pretty on point for the theme they were going for. From the poll that I've taken, which has been tons of people, random people, not just friends, everybody pretty much thinks he's really ugly looking. They're not too happy with his funny, you know, the funny way he looks. I'm curious of what you guys think. Leave in the comment section below what you think about the looks of this Warframe, and if you want to leave more, let me know, you know, everything you think about the Warframe, his powers and everything, what you think they could have done better. And let's go ahead and jump into the arsenal quick and talk about how to mod him before we end this video. Alright guys, when modding your Hydroid at level 30, I'm going to go ahead and go over a general build for him, being that he doesn't really have any great defense or utility abilities and not really going to work well for endgame. In the end, mostly going to be just a for fun Warframe. We're mostly just going to focus on, you know, the general best utilities for his powers. And these are his stats at level 30 by default. He started with 35 armor, they bumped it up to 65. It's still very low and most likely going to get changed because he's just so massive, and he's got very obvious armor plate all over him, and he should definitely be in the hundreds as far as armor goes. So probably going to see a change in that. He's got lower health but above average shields as well. And to beef up his defenses, I'm going to be using a 2 from the top redirection and a vigor. That's going to bring us to a little better health and a decent shield at 900. And we got 300 power with his focus on. Or flow, sorry. Now we got all 4 abilities in. Energy Siphon in as well. He comes with a dash aura. We got V and a dash polarity that he comes with. And as far as the utility mods, basically Intensify, or Focus as it used to be called, is going to give us the best bang for our buck, giving us damage added to all our abilities. And being that most abilities don't have a great amount of damage, but his ulti really being strong and doing the far more damage than anything else, able to kill pretty high level enemies pretty quickly. You're going to want to definitely put on the Intensify to add a nice bit of damage to that. And also you're going to be able to get a lot of extra tentacles. Just like Zephyr's ulti, you're not going to get a huge range by adding stretch. The range for stretch is actually going to be the casting distance, just like in the tornadoes. And by adding the Intensify, you're going to get much more tentacles, just like you would get more tornadoes with Zephyr, except you're going to get a lot of tentacles with his ulti. You're going to be counting like 12 plus, so a good bit. And they're going to basically be all over the place, like through walls and everything, and they'll cover the whole area, like a good 20 plus meters, you know, area that you cast it on. So you're going to be able to cover the whole area for sure of enemies that you're trying to get entangled in your ulti and to, you know, ultimately have killed by the ulti. And as for duration, if you wanted to, you could use that. It will make your tidal surge, your wave, go about twice as far while in your wave form, scooting across land, and your powers that obviously have duration are just going to last longer. Your undertow is in the like 30 seconds. You're not going to need any duration for that. Same thing with Tentacle Swarm being around 20 seconds. You're not going to need any duration for that. It's not going to hurt though if you put it on, you know, to add another 5 seconds to Tentacle Swarm, you know, or even more to undertow, which you definitely wouldn't need. Nobody's going to be sitting in undertow for 30 seconds, but it won't hurt if you wanted to add some duration. But definitely Intensify is going to be our best, so we're definitely going to put that in there. It's going to give us, you know, the most bang for a buck for everything. And then he's very slow, so we're going to add a rush utility. This is personal preference. You know, you can, if you don't mind him being slow, you can definitely add whatever you like. Vigor and redirection just for basic defense, because he doesn't really have any good defenses or utility abilities. And then just flow and streamline, of course, to be able to, you know, use his powers, especially to be able to cast that ulti a lot, because it's just really fun. And honestly, compared to all the other powers, really doing low damage. It's the only power that really acts as a decent crowd control and does a lot of damage. But in the end, you can really build him any way you want. You're not going to have to worry about messing it up and worried about a real advanced build, because that's just not this Warframe. So you can have fun with it, mess around with it, do anything you want. You know, just try to keep a good defense with them. If you feel like you're dying too much, you know, keep a good efficiency, and definitely put on the Intensify though. Definitely go with Power Strength, even if you wanted to go with Blind Range. Just Power Strength in general. It's gonna work the best out of all his utilities. Alright, please comment, like, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoying Update 13. It's all about them new melee weapons, clan alliances, dark sectors, and melee 2.0. That's what we're all psyched about. That's what's all really, really fun, and can't wait to get back to you guys with a lot more of that info and content. Just searching for them stances right now. There's a lot of them, and they do not drop too easily. So I will see you guys later. Good luck.